Hey everybody, it's Brian, John from the Project Algerine crew.
Hey.
Today we're going to see how a local weatherman in Erie turned into a cult movie icon. Let's go.
Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
We are down here in Evans City, Pennsylvania. This is the Evans City Cemetery. This is where they filmed the movie Night of the Living Dead, or at least part of it. You know, yeah, opening scenes were all filmed here. We're going to take you through that and show you that shot by shot. You know, we'll try to do it at least. Well, maybe not shot by shot, but you know, we'll give you a good idea of what's going on. So, in the movie, it starts off with they pull up here in their car and they, you know, talk about, you know, why they're driving out here to visit their father's grave.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
Johnny and Barbara, and they get out and then they make their way this way.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die. The caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish, you can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one.
This is where Johnny and Barbara came to place a wreath on this grave right here.
Okay.
In the film, right there, there's a big tree that's here.
Okay.
And that was brought down.
Yep.
But you can see the Blair grave is right there. And there's a scene where Johnny is standing right about here, behind here, and he's talking about,
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
a zombie that can be seen in the background walking past through here.
Yeah.
And that was Bill Heinzman that played that zombie.
Zombie one.
Zombie number one. So right about where I'm standing right here is the exact spot where he says,
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's classic, man.
Yeah.
Absolute classic.
Yeah.
And then he runs over to the side of this thing and he's like,
They're coming for you, Barbara.
yeah, then when the zombie and Johnny struggle and fight, I believe it's over here, Clyde Myers. This is the tombstone that Johnny gets his head cracked on right here. And then you see his sister ends up right there. She is at this. This is where she. Hold on to my camera a second.
Yep.
Like this. She's scared. You know, and then but here's a fun thing about this. Okay, so John, go stand there like I did. I'll try to explain this. Okay.
Did she do this or this?
She's kind of like, yeah, she's kind of like her fingers up here, you know, kind of like that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, but you can see the Nicholas Kramer in the thing. Okay. Now, what's interesting about that is that if you notice the shot that I'll put up on the screen, it doesn't line up with the background here.
Okay.
Okay. But what it does line up with is if you were to do it that way. Yep. It lines up with the, you can see the markers that way. Yeah.
Okay.
So what that means is at some point, this whole
Yeah.
tombstone had fallen
Oh, got it.
and they picked it back up. And when they put it back, they put it in the wrong spot.
Orientation, like off 90 degrees or whatever.
Yeah. So everybody that gets their picture taken with this is getting it taken in the wrong spot.
I get it. I get it.
So that's a big piece of movie trivia there for you.
That's cool.
In the movie, Barbara runs and gets in the car and then finds out, you know, she can't drive it.
Right.
You know, she doesn't. Johnny has the keys.
Johnny has the keys.
Puts it in neutral, goes down the hill, right?
Goes down the hill up here, and I'll turn the camera on so that people can see what we're talking about. Okay, so up here was where the car was parked. She goes running off to
Yep.
get in the car. Okay, and then the zombie chases her over here, and we can see this building again. Right about here is where the car was parked, and you can see the zombie picks up a rock
Yeah.
and bashes it through the window.
Yep.
Right about here. Okay, and then she pulls the parking lever.
Yep.
And the car goes down the hill here.
Yep.
And then it goes down the hill that way.
Yeah.
And you can see the zombie goes chasing after her down there. Okay. And then the car crashes into a tree right there. Okay. But what people don't know is that it would be impossible to park or to crash a car there because it's a ravine. They would have went off
Got it.
there. So what they did, we're gonna swing the camera around this way. What they did was they actually did that whole shot up here. We're gonna take you up there. Yeah, it was a different spot. When you see her hit the car into the tree, you can look over and see there are two head markers right there, headstones,
Yep.
that can be seen. So the tree would have been right about here,
Got it.
and that scene would have taken place right here. And then she gets out and then she takes off and runs.
Got it.
And then that's where she runs to the farmhouse.
Got it.
And we're gonna take you guys over to the farmhouse too, and show you where those scenes were filmed. And then we'll show you where Bill Cardille's scenes were also filmed.
Okay.
If you notice in the movie, this place is, even in 1967 when they shot this movie, it's all boarded up and it's really beaten bad.
Yeah.
I think it was around 2010, the cemetery group here said that you know, if they're thinking about tearing it down because it was in really bad shape, and you know, it's just an attractive nuisance. What they did was they started a campaign where everybody donated and to fix this up, and they ended up fixing it up. And then in 2014 we had a dedication ceremony, and George Romero came down himself, and pretty much everybody from George's movies were here, and they were all piled along right here. Turn this camera around a little bit. I remember they they had a cello group over here that was playing like really crazy current tunes, you know, like like Metallica and stuff on cello. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, George sat right there and talked.
Okay.
I do have a little bit of a video of it. I'll try to put it up there.
Okay.
And then, but it was a really intimate kind of group where there was maybe, I don't know, 100 of us, like all piled right here, 100 or 200 of us, and we all kind of all listened to George talk right here.
That's cool. I took it in.
He would plug us every night, and was really one of the first sort of professional person that made us believe that we were on the right track.
And then we all went down to there's a park nearby, Edco Park. We all went there for a while, and you know, you could meet and greet with everybody and have stuff signed, and yeah, it was a good time. And I'll throw up some pictures of those if anybody's curious or anybody wants to see those.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the Night of the Living Dead Cemetery. All right, John, we are down on Ashtop Road
Okay.
in Evans City. And right up here, we're gonna look down this road up here.
Okay.
It's a private driveway, so we can't go on it,
Okay.
but we can talk and we can point and we can
Zoom in.
and talk, yeah. So, in the movie Night of the Living Dead, this is the road that you see a lot of posse members walking down towards the end.
They need you down there by the barn.
The house for Night of the Living Dead was right there, where that house is now.
Yep.
They tore it down after the filming. It was right about, yeah, it was just about where that house is. It was just a little over to the right, a little bit more there.
Okay.
You see those pine trees back there?
I do.
Those pine trees are in the movie.
Right on.
You can see those throughout the film. And this is the field here where the posse members all came through. Yeah, and you see the zombies were all coming through towards the house. It was right here. There's a helicopter in the movie. That actually was, they land over here in this field. And they land over there. That's also where they built the bonfire at the end.
Okay.
It's a little hard to see, but right about there would have been where the truck in the movie blows up.
Oh, right on.
There's
yeah.
a pickup truck that blows up.
Kills the couple.
Yeah, Tom and Judy.
I only need a few men to check out the house. Somebody had a cookout here, Vince. Yeah, sure looks like it, Tom.
Yeah, sorry guys. But that was all right here. So we're gonna go down here and show you where Bill Cardille's scenes were filmed. They're very nearby. And with a lot of the posse members and the sheriff, Sheriff McClellan. Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
In 1952, Bill Cardille began his illustrious broadcasting career in Erie, Pennsylvania at WICU Channel 12. His early work included hosting a Saturday morning spelling bee and beer commercials during Cleveland Indian games. In 1957, he moved to Pittsburgh, where he became the first voice heard on WIIC Channel 11, now WPXI. Cardille's engaging personality and versatility quickly made him a local favorite. Cardille has hosted a variety of shows, including Studio Wrestling, which aired live professional wrestling matches. However, it was his role as a host of Chiller Theater that cemented his legacy. From 1963 to 1984, Chilly Billy entertained late-night audiences with horror and science fiction films, blending humor and conversational style that made the show a beloved staple.
So back when they were filming, this was the home of Ella Mae Smith, right up here to the left. And she and her husband play zombies, or I should say ghouls. Let me correct myself. I'm sorry, they weren't zombies yet.
Okay.
They were just ghouls, yeah. Yeah, I said zombies earlier, and that's yeah, you can't.
It evolved into that, right?
It did, yeah, it did. But at that time, they were just known as ghouls. So in the film, you see this large bridge, steel structured bridge that's been replaced. That is right up here. And this is the intersection where a lot of that takes place with the posse members. Kohler Lane. There's a scene, Bill Cardille comes up and they're asking the sheriff, you know, like sheriff's like, where'd you get the coffee? You know, that kind of stuff. He's like, oh, one of the volunteers gave it to me. Okay.
Hey Vince, Al, you want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out. You stay here, Bill.
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers, you're doing all the work, you take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more hours. We'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Tell Bill to check in the office, see what's happening. All right, Steve, tell him we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
So that took place right here, and this
cool.
is where that scene took place. And then up here they had some other scenes that were shot facing this direction.
Okay.
And you can see the creek back there in the film. And they were talking right about here.
Yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
That house can be seen in the film.
All law enforcement agencies
And if you look over here, there's kind of hard to see probably. There's a mailbox down there. That mailbox can be seen. Posse members walking by it and stuff. The film ended up falling into the public domain. And the reason why was that at the time they put out the movie, it was called Night of the Flesh Eaters.
Okay.
But then they were told that there was another film called Night of the Flesh Eaters, and they had to change their title.
Okay.
So the lab that they had sent to make the copies of this movie put a new title, Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
And when they did that, they forgot to put the little copyright.
Circle. Yeah.
Yeah, the little copyright thing that was on the original title. Now, the filmmakers actually applied for a copyright, had a copyright.
Sure.
They didn't remove the copyright. Somebody else did. It's a lab error. But yet, the United States Copyright Office, in their infinite wisdom, instead of protecting the copyright holder, decided to let's just invalidate their copyright. Nobody's ever claimed to have made that movie other than the original people.
Right.
But yet, the United States Copyright Office, according to them, nobody made that movie.
Over the last 50 years, hundreds of companies have sold millions of copies of this film, resulting in the filmmakers losing out on an estimated $30 to $50 million in potential revenue. There's one more filming location that we should mention. The basement of the farmhouse seen in the film was actually the basement of George Romero's office, the Leighton Image Company, located at 247 Fort Pitt Boulevard in downtown Pittsburgh. You can sometimes make out the commercial electrical panels and chaseways in the background. Night of the Living Dead remains one of the most influential films ever made. It redefined horror, challenged social norms, and inspired generations of filmmakers. Though it slipped into the public domain, sparking countless re-releases and adaptations, its cultural impact has only grown. What began as an independent gamble became a timeless classic, forever changing the way we see fear, society, and ourselves.
And that's LMA Smith. We just walked by her house. It's Paula Richards. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
You're ignorant.